Hello everybody and welcome to English Speaking 360. Today we are dealing with the active voice and the passive voice, and this is super advanced stuff, so be careful, it's not easy. Let's go. Now the active voice is this. Apple created the iPhone. The passive voice, on the other hand, is this one. The iPhone was created by Apple. Now, why do we call that the active voice? Because the subject, Apple, performed the action. The action is the verb. The verb is created. Apple created something? Yes, it did. Apple created the iPhone. So Apple, in this case, is an active subject because it did an action. Now, why is the second one the passive voice? Because the subject, the iPhone, did not do the action. The iPhone did not create anything. So the iPhone is a passive subject. The iPhone is receiving the action of the verb. It is not doing it. Here are two examples. Da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa, and the Mona Lisa was painted by Da Vinci. Now, which is active and which is passive? Ask yourself, Da Vinci painted? Yes, he did. So it is an active sentence. The Mona Lisa painted? No, she didn't paint, so she was passive. Be careful. Do not overuse the passive voice. This is super important. Don't overuse it. Very often I see my students and I hear them saying things like this. I like ice cream. This is good. It's perfect. But some students say ice cream is liked by me. That is weird. Remember, the active voice is used most of the time. Now, when do we use the passive voice in English? We use it when we don't know or we don't care who did the action. Super important. Who did it is not important. Remember this. Now, how to form the passive voice? Someone stole my car is an active voice sentence. Okay, we have the subject, we have a verb at the past tense, and we have an object. Now, let's try to make the passive voice. To make the passive voice, we take the object and we put it in the space of the subject. So the object becomes the subject. My car? My car stole someone? No, my car was stolen. Now this is the difficult part. The verb has two parts in a passive voice sentence. You have the verb to be, and the verb to be here is at the past tense. Why is it at the past tense? Because of this right here. In the active voice sentence, the original verb was past. So here, the verb to be must be at the same verb tense. And the second part is the PP of the original verb. The PP is the past participle. Steal, stole, stolen. Finally, the subject is put at the back of the sentence by someone. So we need a preposition right there, by someone. You cannot say my car was stolen someone. My car was stolen by someone, but the object is optional in this case. You can very well say my car was stolen. Everybody knows that your car was stolen by someone, of course. Here's another example. The Germans make the best beer. Okay, subject. Your verb now is at the present tense. Watch out. And the object. Now you remember how to do it. We take the object and we put it at the beginning of the sentence. The best beer, it becomes the subject. And remember, the verb has two parts. So now you need is made, because we have the verb to be at the present tense, because right here the original verb is a present tense verb, and we need the PP of the original verb. Make, made, made, past participle. And finally, we take the subject and we put it at the end of the sentence, by the Germans. This is the object. Now, be careful, because these two sentences are good sentences, and this is where many students make a mistake. You have to ask yourself, which is more important? What is your focus? Are you focusing on German people? For example, are you giving a speech about German people? If so, choose the first sentence. The Germans make the best beer. That's okay. But if you are giving a speech on beer, then you have to use the second sentence, because your focus is the beer. The best beer is made by the Germans. In the second case, the Germans are not so important. The beer is the star of the show. Here's another example. Someone in Florida bought the winning ticket. Subject, verb, and object. Now, can you make the passive voice? The winning ticket was bought in Florida. You could also say the winning ticket was bought by someone in Florida, but you don't need it. The winning ticket was bought in Florida is good enough. Now, try to change an active sentence into a passive sentence and write your answer in the comments section below. I will check it and I will give you some feedback. Now, let's go with more examples. You remember, I told you not to overuse the passive voice. But now maybe you wonder, when should I use the passive voice? I'm going to tell you exactly when. One of the biggest use of the passive voice is on the news or when you're talking about the news. For example, someone fired several shots. This is the active sentence. Can you make the passive sentence? Several shots were fired. Remember, we use the passive when we don't know or we don't care who did the action. In this case, we don't know who fired several shots, so it's not important. Several shots were fired. Someone called the police. Can you make the passive? The police were called. We don't know who called the police. It's not important. The focus is on the police. Now, there is another situation when we use the passive voice, is when we are talking about art, movies, architecture, music, and so on. Now, here's an example. Michelangelo carved La Pieta. Can you make the passive voice? La Pieta was carved by Michelangelo. They released Avatar 2 in 2022. Avatar 2 was released in 2022. Someone built the Colosseum 2,000 years ago. The Colosseum was built 2,000 years ago. Another case for passive voice use is in documentaries or when you're giving a speech, like a speech contest, for example. People know Thailand because of its tasty food. Can you make the passive? Thailand is known for its tasty food. So this one, the verb know is at the present tense. So Thailand is known for its tasty food. 1.5 billion people speak English. What's the passive? English is spoken by 1.5 billion people. Here's the last case in which many people use the passive voice is in research papers. Okay, so very often you will see this. The researcher heated the liquid to 100 degrees Celsius. This is true, but this is not what you should write in a research paper. You should use the passive voice. You should say the liquid was heated to 100 degrees Celsius. We already know that the researcher heated the liquid. We already know that, so you can skip it. Same thing here. We gave painkillers to the patients. What's the passive voice? The patients were given painkillers by us. But by us is not important. We don't care because we already know. Good job, guys. Now, do you like grammar? If you like grammar, check out these videos. They are my best grammar videos. See you soon. Bye-bye.